Hi everyone, welcome to today's topic, and the topic is about how to become a data analyst. Okay, and I'll be discussing this topic within three sub headings. The first one is acquire the skills and qualification. The second is to prepare to get hired, and thirdly, work as a data analyst. Okay, so these are the three processes or subtopics I'll be discussing these topics on. All right, so let's go to the first one. But before then, I need to define or tell you what a data analyst is. So data analysts gather, analyze, and translate data into insights. Okay, so they do this by describing trends and patterns, and they help or assist organizations to make better decisions. All right, so there's this data, and the data is collected by analysts, and it passes through the data analysis process to become insight. Okay, so a lot goes into this. It's not just that simple or straightforward, which you get to know. So, but as a data analyst, or to become a data analyst, you must have the skills to translate that data into insights for better decision making. All right, so that's the point. So, the process of doing this is called data analysis. Okay, so that is what who a data analyst is. So, to become one, the first thing to do is to acquire the skills. That is the first thing that sets you on track, that begins your journey. Okay, so the skills are, I've listed 5 skills here: spreadsheets, that's Microsoft Excel; SQL, Python or R; the pandas, NumPy, and Matplotlib, you see, are libraries under Python. All right, the first one is basic statistics. It's very essential for you. And data visualization, those are skills you must have for you to even or to start your journey as a data analyst. All right, so I'll be giving a brief description of each skills, okay? Not totally in depth before, just like an introduction for you to understand what they're about. The first one is spreadsheet or Microsoft Excel. So, spreadsheet is an electronic document, okay, that allows data to be arranged in rows and columns. That's rows and columns, okay, like in form of tables, and you allow calculations to be done. So Microsoft Excel is a type of spreadsheet. It's manufactured by Microsoft. Microsoft is the vendor. All right. So but the beauty of it is that Microsoft Excel does not just allow for calculations. You can plot your data visualizations with it. You can do a lot of things: pivot table, graphs, and a lot of things to add to your graphics and bring out the beauty or present your insights in a better way. All right, so that's about spreadsheets. And SQL or SQL refers to structured query language. Okay, structured query language helps with analysis of data. So when I say data stored in a database, like a collection of related tables. So we have this database where you have different tables. No information is stored or are stored in different tables, and they are all related and linked together. So form a database. Okay. So we use SQL to retrieve data from this. From the database, analyze it. You can do a lot of things with SQL. Apart from analysis, you can create tables, spaces. But for introduction, you just know that SQL is an essential tool. It's usually called SQL in the IT world. So, but you can just, it's SQL obviously. So, structured query language. All right, so we have different type of structured query language for your understanding. We have Oracle, we have Microsoft Server, we have MySQL, we have Sybase. Well, these are from different vendors basically, but they are still SQL. All right, so they are standardized to meet the requirements of that language. Okay, so but when you see Sybase, when you see MSQL and stuff, they are SQL, okay, from different vendors, like different vendors manufacturing or producing a particular language. All right, so we go to Python. Python is a very powerful tool, programming language as well. So Python can be used for web development, can be used for data analysis, like as we're discussing, mathematical computation, game development and so on, but our focus is using Python for data analysis. All right. So or R. So R is also a programming language. So they come with different libraries. For example, Python comes with different libraries to implement all those functions I've mentioned. All right, so but our focus is pandas, numpy, matplotlib, and a host some others, okay, which you get to see later. All right, in subsequent videos. So these are particularly for what's called data analysis. All right. So the next one is basic analysis, statistics. Basic because statistics is broad. Okay, so the one that will help you with trend and pattern uh, correlation of variables, for trends, for relationship, and for like for example linear regression, time series, and predictions. Yes, because you should be able to make predictions as data analyst after describing the insights or telling for informed decision making process. You should be able to predict or what should be this step or the action to be taken in this particular like a forecasting in this particular situation. All right, so data visualization, perfect visualization, as the name implies, is for you to see, and it's usually done with graphs, tables, what's it called, timelines, where you show like usually using projects. So it's like after you have this insight, how do you pass the message across to your audience or clients? All right, so it's like a form of storytelling. So you have those graphs and table to present the data, the insights of you found from your analysis, and to say, oh, based on this, it easily interprets this. When you see, for example, a bar chart, you could see the highest population of a particular demography buying a particular product. It could be easily displayed in words and with which we aid better understanding rather than just explaining. So you have graphs displaying several insights, several data, and you could see the relationship. And data visualization also come handy when it comes to your analysis as well. For example, if you want to identify outliners, okay, outliners are like a set of a data that doesn't have similarity with the other, okay, set of data. It's standing outside, totally outside. So you could see that this data outside does not correspond with the rest of the data you have. So you could investigate. So data visualization helps you to see that perfectly without you going to rigorous, processes. So you could visually see these things. So interesting. It's an interesting pathway. So these are the skills you need to get to know. And I'll just move straight into the second one, or the first one still, but the like a part B. So after acquiring the skills, you need to acquire the qualifications. Okay, so most times it's required of you to have bachelor's degree in computer science or statistics or mathematics or economics or finance. All right, so this is obvious because of what it demands to be a data analyst, because it requires a lot of logical conversational reasoning. So these courses set the pace. All right, sometimes higher qualifications are required, like masters. And if you want to progress as well, you want to be an academia, you can progress to PhD. However, you should notice that it's not necessarily compulsory to have these qualifications to become a data analyst. So for you to stand out in the crowd, you need to have the skills and experience. That is guaranteed. Okay, so qualifications gives you a foundation, makes the journey easier, has already expanded your mind, gives you full knowledge which you can build on, and the race will be easier for you compared to someone coming from a different background, for example, who studied history. Not necessarily do not have logical thinking, but you do, But since you didn't study it in university, you may not have the essentials, those things introduced to you during your course work. All right. So it's not compulsory. However, it's an advantage. All right. Sometimes, and it varies from country to countries. For example, the US, like I heard, they they love degrees. They love you going advancing that academic ladder. All right. So compared to some other places that just require you having the experiences, they want to see what you can do. But both is a perfect match, the skills and qualification. But skills for me is more important. However, qualification is an advantage. Yeah, perfect. So another one is having industry certifications, for example, cloud computing and framework, like Microsoft Azure and AWS. So these are cloud computing frameworks, which comes in useful. We have cloud computing, a lot of technology into storage nowadays. So you need to be familiar with all those things to able to maneuver your way. A lot of collaboration tools you still need to know, but basically these are the basic things you get to know. And as you go on, you get to understand those things you need to incorporate into your learning. All right, so we'll move to the second point. Okay, so the second point is to work. No, not this should be right. I skipped a slide there, but this is second point. So prepare to get hired. So I haven't get received or learned the skills or got the qualification. You need to prepare to get hired, unless you want to be self-employed because you want to work and practice with your skills. All right. So I've listed some things. You need to build your portfolio. You need to build a resume. You need to join a learning community. Sorry, and you need to prepare for interviews. That's how to prepare to get hired. All right. So building your portfolio is very important. It's like personal branding and marketing. You want people to be aware of you. You want to know them to know what you're capable of, what you can do. You want the employers to see you. So you build a public profile. That's what it entails. So public profile is a profile in the public for people to say, oh, I read about you, I get to find you and see, oh, this person can do so things. And we have a lot of platforms already doing that. For example, LinkedIn is a popular one. Okay, you could have personal websites, okay, where you can build and put all your profiles, your project work, what you've learned, and your experience. All right, so GitHub, you have to be active on GitHub as well, and a lot of public profile sites that you get to see in the description. All right, so you need to build a resume, your CV. You prepare your CV, also introducing yourself. Um, the employers usually ask for CV, resume. They want to understand, about you in case after maybe they found your public profile, they want to see your CV and get to know about you and see. So you should describe your qualities, your personal qualities, like the summary aspect, and you should tell us the skills and your experiences and why you should be employed. All right. So like convincing the employer before meeting you, so it goes a long way in determining if you will be called up by the employer, if the employer will be interested in meeting you, or we just say, this person is not a perfect match. So you don't want to make it cumbersome and at the same time scanty. At the same time, you don't want to put in irrelevant information. So all you need to do is to get to understand the company, the requirements for the job and for the role, and see how you match your skills with their needs. All right, to see and understand the company's culture and values. Okay, so the next one is to join a learning community. This helps a lot. You read blogs, you join communities, doing the same thing. You get to meet people doing what you do or have done what you do. So they put you They guide you, they put you on the right path, they tell you the experiences, so learn from them, you participate. It keeps you up and running, up and going, alive, and up to date. You want to be aware of what is going on, what other tools, and so it will make your journey very easy. Okay, compared to you staying in isolation, nobody's an island of their own. So you need to mingle up and with the right set of people, and a learning community is uh, the best way to do that. All right. So, and also lastly, you have to prepare for interviews, because the aim is to get interviewed and get the job, because you have to get interviewed before getting that role. So, like all the steps we've listed before are prerequisites. There's interviews, you have to research the company, you have to know what they want, you have to understand if it's somewhere you want to be, if it's an innovative company, and what you want to bring to the table. All right. So you would have seen a lot of achievements, and how do you want to do things differently to add value to what they have. And also there are some interview questions which we get to see later on in the description, and you will get to know that you need to practice. Nobody woke up becoming an expert a day by just waking up and becoming an expert. No, it's not possible. So you have to practice and see how you can improve your communication skills. Is essential, and you have to be engaged in continuous learning, which everyone does. All right. So the next one is to work as a data analyst. Now, this is now real life. You've secured that job and you're not working. So what do you do? How do you bring your experience, your skills into practical experiences? So the best guide I'll give you is to know your job description. Okay. And which would have been told during the interview processes, during your employment pre-employment phase. So you'd have been told, oh, these are the things. But sometimes it always sounds theoretical, and you feel, oh, especially when it's your first role, you're on your journey to becoming a data analyst. Okay, so how do you get started? So don't forget the data analysis process. All right, and so I'm going to be discussing that on that job description. So whatever job description has been given to you, everything should cover each stage of this data analysis process. Okay, so everything is derived from this. So problem definition. There should be a problem you want to solve. The client comes to you. This and this I want to do. This and this I want to achieve. I want to know the number of customers that buy this particular product. Okay, I want to know which gender should buy this particular product, and which how many the profits will be made here, which one is more productive, which products are frequently bought together. Okay, so you get to understand what they want, and now the data to use. Remember, data analysis process. What you do as a data analyst is to collect data from primary and secondary sources. Okay, so you collect the data to use for this particular problem, because if you do not know what the problem is, you do not know which data to use to answer this problem. All right, so you need to collect the data for this problem you've defined. All right, so but during the problem definition stage, you also develop an action plan, how to go about this, how to execute this. All right, so data collections could be from interviews, observation, directly from the evidence. Those are primary ones. Secondary ones could be from article. It's gone through the primary point to this. Now is not the secondary point. So let's go to data cleaning. It's very essential. You don't just want to dive into it and start analyzing data where you know, or you're not aware if a particular field is missing, a particular place's data is wrongly imputed, there's a blank space somewhere. All right, so you want to clean the data and make it tidy to say, okay, this is in the right format, the date format is correct, the gender is correct, or well put together. Blank spaces are replaced by the mean or mode value for valuable results. All right, so then you move on to data analysis proper. So most times is always about the exploratory data analysis, where you get to understand the trends and patterns between data between two variables. This way, you apply statistics using Python. You want to use a SQL to understand the relationship between this data to derive that, to answer the questions you've defined previously. Okay, so you're analyzing the data, you're trying to understand the outliner. You use your plot leads to get visualizations to understand the correlations and a lot of things we should get to know, or as you go deeper into learning data analysis. All right, so then you set up your data for report or visualization. So data aggregation, you put how so the data that are related, you want to put them together and see how to prepare them for a particular visualization and the choice of your visualizations. Then you go about creating your reports and visualizations. All right, so I hope I've been able to explain this well to you, but no worries, with time you get to understand this concept. And so this is the end of almost the end. So I almost omitted one, which is salary expectation. Okay, according to Indeed, the average salary is in UK. So I know you will be interested in this. Okay, it's a salary expectation. This also is subject to the country you find yourself. Some are just emerging. Some places are just getting to discover the importance of a data analyst, and some tend to I've noticed, or is a matured market for them. So they pay better, like the US pay more, okay, averagely per annum. So in the UK, the average salary is like 32, according to Indeed, £32,000 per year. Okay, so most times entry level could be some I've seen some for £25,000. The NHS, depending on the band they want to work in. And so the pay were generally. So it's an exciting place to be. And I wish you success in your journey. I thank you for watching and listening. And I hope you like the video. And I want you to subscribe to this channel. And I want you to share as well. And don't forget to press the notification bell. All right. So have a good one. And drop your comments in the comment section what you want me to know and talk about, and what you think about what I've just discussed. Thank you.